Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to Geek Church, GC Gaming, whatever you want to call it. So hey, let's get into today's daily devotion, our SOAP devotion. So looking forward to it today. Might have, no pun intended, might get on a little bit of a soapbox with this one. And yeah, it's good though. So it's funny because this is what I love about the Proverbs method is you guys have to forgive. There's this annoying fly. He's basically just become our studio pet at this point. Can't seem to get rid of him, and he's always in here. And like you can see him fly. Like when he flies by the camera, you watch. Where'd he go? Like you can actually see. Like you can actually see him when he flies by. It's super annoying. So if you see me doing like this or this, it's the fly. It's our pet fly. We're gonna name him Gregory. So yes, hey Gregory, welcome to the feed. Yeah, it's Gregory. Yep. Oh, I just saw him. There he is. Say hi to Gregory, guys. It's our studio fly, our pet mascot fly guy. So let's get started with today's devotion. So it's Proverbs 17, 2. And what I was going to say is, like, I'm not picking these out specifically. Like, they just seem so relevant. That's the great thing about, like, when you're doing the Proverbs method is it seems like every day there's something that, like, pertains to your life or what you're going through or whatnot. So I didn't pick chapter 17. It's just what it was. I picked verse 2. But yeah, it's super cool. So let's jump into it. 17:2. If you want to follow along, I use the ESV version. It should be the ESV version, so I try to use. Unless it's sometimes my Bible's set to something else on accident. Sometimes I use the Passion Translation. But especially if you see me holding a Bible, it's either, if it's gray, it's my ESV. If it's brown, it's Passion that Jonathan got for me. So thank you, Jonathan, once again. All right, the verse is, a servant who deals wisely will rule over a son who acts shamefully and will share the inheritance as one of the brothers. What do you guys think that means? Really quick, I'm going to read it one more time. Feel free to leave a chat. What do you think? What are observations you have about that? What's something that stands out? What confuses you? What seems cool? What do you think of that? A servant who deals wisely will rule over a son who acts shamefully and will share the inheritance as one of the brothers. So we have a servant who's clearly, he's not part of the family. He's hired on, and he maybe even a slave. Maybe he's like an indentured servant or something. And so he's not part of the family. He has no right to the inheritance, no right to any of the families. He just gets a paycheck. So that's like you have a job basically, right? So you work for some other family. You're a maid, you're a babysitter, probably if you guys are in school, probably a babysitter or mowing lawns or something like that would be, all right, you're not part of their family. You just work for them. They give you a paycheck or probably just some cash, again, at your age. But look, a servant who deals wisely, they're going to end up ruling over a son who acts shamefully, right? It's like that whole trust fund kid idea where they're spoiled and they're getting arrested all the time for doing whatever they want, or at your age, hopefully they're not getting arrested yet. But you know what I mean, like that the rich kid who just has like no sense of the real world and just whatever they want gets, and so it's like, oh, I'm tired of my phone, I'm just gonna smash it, I'll get a new one. Like act shamefully, will share the inheritance. So the wise one will share the inheritance as one of their brothers. So, there's lots of examples of this in the Bible, in movies, and all kinds of stuff. In fact, if we jump down observation, the one that stuck out to me was, have you guys seen that the movie on Netflix? I know we're not supposed to talk about Netflix, right? We've all canceled our subscriptions. I haven't yet. I've actually been meaning to cancel it long before cancel Netflix, #cancel Netflix and all that, just because we had too many. And I just haven't done it yet, because every time I go to cancel, I'm like, oh wait, I want to finish that. Oh wait, I need to finish that. Oh, so I'm terrible, and I haven't canceled my Netflix yet, so maybe I will. What's up, Gregory? Maddie said hi. I'm talking to a fly now. Like, how crazy do you have to be sitting in a room by yourself talking to a fly? So there's this thing on Netflix called Animal Crackers. It's a movie. It's actually funny because the movie was never actually supposed to be released, but because of the whole pandemic thing, they're like, we need movies, and this was a movie from 2017 that kind of got shelved, and they're like, release it to the world. So it was pretty good. It was kind of weird, but in a kind of a cool, fun family movie kind of way. And one of the things in there, it gave me an example of this. So I'm going to just jump my observation. I put, your character and work ethic matters, and it can and will take you higher than a birthright or a given position. So in this Animal Crackers movie, the whole premise is this guy gets these magical animal crackers, and when you eat that animal, you turn into that animal, until you eat the human cracker and you turn back into yourself. And it's they work at a circus, so like they are able to do all these like amazing like animal. He's like the world's greatest animal trainer type thing, but really it's him turning into these animals. So cute little movie. I don't remember. It was a few months ago, maybe if there was anything weird in it, but there was a chimera at the end where the guy ate like a whole bunch and turned it. Anyways, I won't run that for you. But what's interesting is there was these two characters. There's the main character who was played by Jim from The Office, or Jack Ryan, if you're a fan of that. And he was like hated. So he married this woman and worked for her father at a dog biscuit company. And the stepdad hated him because he didn't think he was good enough to marry the daughter. Literally, he was a taste tester. So he was quality control tasting dog biscuits all day long as his job. That's what the dad had him doing as kind of like revenge for marrying his daughter. And then there's this other guy. I want to say his name was Brock, but I don't know that for sure. Maybe I'm thinking of like Eddie Brock or Brock from... I think I'm thinking of Brock from... What's that movie, Emperor's New Groove? Because I think it's the same voice actor. The guy that was The Tick. Oh, man. You guys ever watch The Tick, the live action one? Well, the cartoon was the best. And then they did the live action one. And then they redid it. And I haven't really seen it, but it doesn't seem as good. I missed that guy. I can't think of his name, but he does a lot of stuff like that and a lot of voices. And he plays like the big, dumb, like flashy guy that the seems to say and do all the right things that the boss loves and is like going to turn the company over to, instead of like the quote-unquote idiot son-in-law who's actually the good guy. And so he's like, we see the one guy, this is a perfect example. He is not a good guy, but he has been like, he's the second-hand man, and there's Gregory. Hey, Gregory. He's the second-hand man, and he is going to inherit, like, take over the company. But then we have the actual good guy over here. And now I know this example because he has the birthright as well. But we see, like, the chosen guy with the title of, like, you're going to become the next owner of this company, I'm going to hand it over to you, ends up getting pushed out because he has bad and poor character. And the guy who's a good guy and works hard and is kind to people, and there's this whole subplot of this lady who works, she's like a scientist who invents the biscuits, where he's helping her out on her quest to create this food biscuit, that dog biscuit that tastes like real food, Willy Wonka type stuff. So he's just a good guy, and he ends up, at the end, obviously it's it's a kid movie, he ends up winning at the end of the day and getting his hopes and dreams and all that kind of stuff. So it made me think of that. So how the one fell and the one rose based on their character and their work ethic and the work they put in, how they treated the job, how they treated other people. It was really good. And so I'm going to jump into application. I have do everything like you are directly working for Jesus. Why? Because the Bible literally says so. It talks about, and I should have looked this up. I meant to look this up where it was, so someone maybe Google it or something. I don't know. But it says, whatever your hand finds to do as unto the Lord. It's this whole idea of like, it doesn't matter even if you have a quote-unquote like crappy job. Like if you're doing something and you're a Christian, you're an example, and you're supposed to be doing everything as if you're serving God. And why? Why should you clean bathrooms at your first job working at like McDonald's? And you're young, so they put you on bathroom cleaning duty, and everyone hates it, and now you're stuck with it and you hate it. Because the reason why is, here's the thing, it's you represent Christ, right? So when everyone else is complaining and grumbling and you're doing everything joyfully, and people are like, yo, I'm gonna say Maddie because Maddie's in here. Yo, Maddie, like, why, like, we all hate cleaning the bathrooms. I know you can't enjoy this. Like, why do I hear you in there singing joyfully and stuff? What you're like, because I'm just thinking about how I'm cleaning this bathroom for Jesus. And it opens up doors of opportunity. There's a couple things. So one, you're going to be blessed, right? It's hard for a company, a boss, a manager, whatever, not to reward, give you bonuses, and promote you when you're like the nicest, happiest, most cheerful, hardest working. They could completely hate you, and you're going to rise in the company, or have an open door in a new company. Or if we're talking about, school, right? You could have a teacher who completely hates you, but unless they're like actually breaking policy and like doing some unjust things, like they can't fail you if you're getting good grades. If you're doing your homework and studying as unto the Lord, you're like, I'm literally going to study for this test as if I'm doing this for Jesus to my best of my ability, and whether that's a C+, a B-, an A, whatever it is, I'm studying, doing my absolute best. Same thing with sports. You're going to rise up in your sports, in your schooling. If you struggle in school and you're flunking out a bunch of stuff, but you start doing it as for the Lord, yeah, maybe you're not going to go get straight A's, but maybe now you start getting, you go from D- and F's on everything, you start getting, your lowest grade, you start getting D's, and and D pluses, and then you start getting some C's, and you start doing this, and you start getting blessed, you start getting in this habit, and then you're all of a sudden, hey, by the end of the year, now all of a sudden you're like, hey, my report card, I've got like mostly C's. I only have one D, where I was failing in everything before, and a D minus was like my best grade. Now my worst grade is a D plus. I have mostly C's, and I even have a B minus. Like, like I'm not saying everyone has to be perfect, but we do it to our best of ability as to in the Lord, right? Also, it's going to open up doors to witness. That you're going to have like, why are you, no one cares, this class is a joke, or everyone sees how this teacher picks on you but in your science class because singled you out as the Christian who doesn't believe in evolution, or doesn't believe this, or doesn't believe in abortion, and is just railing on you. We also like, why, what's the point? Just drop the class, or just turn in whatever. He's failing you on everything anyways. Just you do what's right because it's right, and God's going to bless that, God's going to see that, and he's going to open up opportunities for you on that. The other thing is, it makes you really hard to get rid of. Go read the story of Daniel, right? Everyone hated Daniel because he was so much better than the rest of them, and he kept getting promoted. All of his peers, everyone on the same level as him, below him, even some above him because they're worried, and he kept taking their jobs. They hated him because they didn't want to work that hard. It was like a Rudy situation, right? There's this movie called Rudy about this guy who shouldn't have been on the football team, but he worked so hard. They put him on the team. He didn't really get a play, but they hated him at first because he worked so hard during practice. It kind of made the rest of them like have to work harder and not to be able to take it easy on practice. So anyway, same thing. Daniel, they hated him. He kept promoting up, and they tried to get rid of him, and they couldn't. They finally had to cheat, like do some like shady stuff to try to get rid of him, and it still didn't work, and ended up getting them killed instead of him. So it makes you hard to get rid of. Your manager can absolutely hate you because you're a Christian. They're a bitter person, whether you have a job, it could be your teacher. They absolutely hate you because of their life is in shambles and they're not happy, but then you are, and you're sharing. Even when you're going through hard things, you're like, what, I'm having a tough week, a tough year, a tough life, but I'm not looking at these worldly things. My hope is in the Lord, my joy is in the Lord, so I'm going to choose to rejoice this day because it is the day the Lord has made, and I will rejoice. Some of you 90s worship kids, that's going to sound familiar. And it's like, this is the day that the Lord has made. Remember that song? There, that's the closest you're going to get to me singing, is kind of half singing some old 90s worship song. Yeah. So it's hard to get rid of you when it's like, no, I'm not getting that guy. Like, and I saw this numerous times. When I worked at the car lot, I saw guys who were shady. They had no character, but they had work ethic, and they were getting sales. And so like everyone else is like, they're cheating, they're lying. Like, we should fire this guy. And it's like, no, they're bringing in sales. We're not going to. Now imagine how much more if on top of results, you're also have good character and trustworthy. So it's going to make you hard to get rid of that way too. They can't kick you off the team. Like, your coach or assistant coach or whatever can absolutely hate you and not like that you're witnessing to the members on the team. But if you're one of the best players, you have great stats, and you work super hard, they can't kick you off of it just because they don't like that you're witnessing to other students, right? So, yeah, with that, let's jump into, I knew I was going to rant a little bit on that. And the thing is, it's going to help elevate you and raise you because so many people aren't doing that. So many people are doing just like the minimum. Like, go through a fast food line, right, nowadays. Ask your parents, was it always like this? Did it sound like everyone was mad that you came through their line? Like, why do I feel bad? Like, I was bothering them. Like, this is their job. Why does everyone sound like they're almost suicidal, and so everyone's so depressed? Like, you go through a fast food line, and anytime I go through and someone's kind of cheery, I'm like, oh wow, this is awesome. And I'll literally go back there on purpose because I'm like, they've got that cheery person in their drive-through line. Because normally you go through and you pull up and they're like, oh, hey, what can we get for you? No, we can't do that. No, I don't have it anymore. All right, so 56 first window. You're like, wait, what window? How much is it? Did you say 1356? Was it 1556? What? Talk, speak up. Like, why do you sound so? And then sometimes you go through and the person's like, hi, welcome to da-da-da. What can I get for you? You're like, oh, this has got to be a recording. This is one of those like recording things. Then, I'll take a cheeseburger. Like, oh yeah, that's great. Anything else? And you're like, oh, there's a real person. And you pull up and they're like, oh, hi, it's 1353. Oh, here you go. All right. Yeah, oh, have a great day. And you're like, oh yeah, you too. Like, you're like a happy person. It's so amazing to find someone like that in retail anymore, right? You stand out. You make a difference. And again, I'm going to get off the soapbox. No, once again, no pun intended. And let's do the prayer. So I put it down, Lord, help me to never despise where I am, and help me to work my best if the okay, so I said as the student body president or towel boy, so it doesn't matter like if you're just showing up to a class afterwards to help stack chairs. Do it as if you were like the student body president or you were the captain of the team. Whatever you're doing, do it well, right? And that's what I have in the prayer. And this has been a struggle. Like I was raised this way, so a lot of times it was easy, but then other times it was hard because I felt like, why am I doing this? Like, what am I doing here? Like when I was at the car lot was one of them. It was really hard to try to do things with excellence because I'm like, everyone else is cutting, not everyone, but most people are cutting corners. You know, they're liars. They're just whatever. They literally like will lie to the person just to get them to sell a car. There's no integrity. Why am I here? What am I doing with my life? And you know, they're corrupt. They seem to be making more money than I am. Like, what's the point even of coming into work every day and having to say like, no, I have to do this for the Lord. Like, I have a family at home I'm supporting. I have a vision for ministry that I'm going to get back to one day. This is where I am right now. I have an opportunity to learn some stuff. I have an opportunity to be around some people and influence some people. I need to take advantage of it. So that's all I've got for today, guys. If you guys have any, I should have said this earlier, if you have any prayer requests, let me know. I'll end this every day with prayer and pray over your prayer requests. So love you guys. Have a blessed day. Let's end in some prayer really quick. Lord, just thank you for everyone watching this, whether it was live or later pre-recorded or post-recorded. I don't know. Anyways, everyone hearing this, watching this, that you'll just bless their day and help them to have a new vision, new sight on those mundane, boring things they're doing, that it'll help them to be re-energized and invigorated. I don't know if that's the right word. It's the right word. I don't know if that's the right way to say it, but you know what I'm trying to say, Lord. And to live their day and go out and be an example for you. We pray in Jesus' name. Amen. All right, guys. Love you all. And I know I kind of already said this, but yeah. So we are. Gregory wants to say bye. There he is. Gregory saying bye. And cool. I'm trying to find like my little cut screen thing. Like I just started using these. So stream ending soon. All right, here we go. I'm gonna cut over this, and then so I have time to get off. And in the future, I'll stay on for a few minutes with it's just on the off screen and answer questions and stuff in the chat. So feel free to hang out. But I'm gonna go because I got some stuff to get done. So see you at youth tonight if you're one of my students. Peace.